Action!
Hello and welcome to episode 21 now of Your Average Critics, joined today by Joe, Obi and Ollie. Chris is away, so
Fuck Chris.
We'll slag him off today, shall we?
We only slag you off, and Joe actually. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Joe's making regular appearances
To
now.
be fair, this is what, my third in a row?
Yeah.
I've just noticed, Joe, your face is bald.
Yeah, I know.
He shaved.
What's happened, mate?
Yeah, I took all my beard off.
You look about 16.
You were going for the Guy Fawkes look.
Yeah, I know. But I had to take it off.
Why?
I had to go to the dentist and I needed proper access
Oh,
to my
right,
jaw.
so you...
So they couldn't see your
Right.
jaw through your beard.
Yeah.
Well, they had to touch it up and, you know, the beard gets in the way.
Oh, yeah. Sounds saucy.
Yeah.
So you're saying that for anyone who
Fake
goes to the
dentist.
Yeah, just, if you go into the dentist, just chop off your beard.
Like dentist. That's a good idea. You should market that.
But did you know that you had to shave the beard off before you went to the dentist?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they didn't have to like shave it off there.
No, they didn't shave it off there and then.
That's
I
the
shaved it
storyline,
off before.
innit?
But sometimes you don't always know. The dentist isn't going to be like, I need access to your jaw. Like,
It's like when you go for a vasectomy and they have to shave your balls.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that from experience. I'm just saying.
I've literally, I didn't know anything about that. Okay, cool.
You got to shave your face, mate. It'll be like a totally different person.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Lauren will leave you.
I wouldn't be able to get into clubs, wouldn't be able to buy alcohol, wouldn't be able to get into 12-rated films.
The best things in life.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like I need a beard. I'm not going to lie. Let's talk
Well,
about
to be
You've
fair,
been saying this for
no,
like
look
6
at
years.
what's going on
a couple
here.
of strings, mate. A couple of strings, you know what I mean? It's coming through.
Just keep shaking.
Slowly but surely. But I was talking to some geezer yesterday, and I was like, how old do you think I look? And he was like, yeah, 16, 17. I was like, fuck, you know.
Really?
I don't know that, yo. Come on, man.
That's
Was this
crazy.
on a night out though? Was this a random
This
person?
was literally last night.
This is in the pub
Yeah.
where they check your ID.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Jesus Christ.
Genuine idiot.
Mm.
Well, happy birthday to your sister yesterday, which is why we went out to celebrate.
Although, why is she saying I look like my brother? She is
You do,
very...
though.
You do
I
look
said
like
this,
your brother.
She's
You do
very
look like your
mistaken.
brother.
No, mate.
You can sound like him as well. To be honest, we could replace you with your brother. And
No one here would know.
Listeners wouldn't know.
I'm probably produce a better podcast.
Oh, snap!
Jesus.
Nick, if you're listening, give us a call, you know?
Idiot.
So we're recording this podcast at 12:30 and Obi's already on the drinks.
Yeah.
Alcoholic.
You can prove nothing.
Well, mate, good on it. Can't say the brand.
All we can tell you is it is cider with passion fruit and lime.
Sipping my brandless drink.
Brandless drink, other brandless
Other
drinks are
brands
available. Alright, well, let's get on to talking about films then. Has anyone got any film news before we talk about Spider-Man Homecoming?
I don't, but I will get some and sprinkle it throughout the.
Oh,
throughout the
Salt Bay
podcast.
it.
Yeah.
Salt Bay and some film
Yeah,
news.
that.
Okay, well, let's talk about Spider-Man Homecoming then. We've all seen it, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So it's number 462 in the MCU. It's Peter Parker against the Vulture, and also the Shocker. A little bit about the Shocker. It's it's part high school coming of age drama,
Yeah.
part superhero film. But the big thing is, which I know, Ollie, you're not that keen on, is that it wasn't an origin story. So he is already Spider-Man.
There will be one.
He's
There won't be an origin story. I can guarantee this now.
Okay, let's get this over and done with. Ollie, you
There
think
will-
that in subsequent films they're going to do some form of origin?
They're going to realise that they've missed out all of Spider-Man getting bit, which is like him getting his power, and it's part of the fun, isn't it?
It's a bit
that's like Tobey Maguire. Everyone loved that. You said they're not going to do it again because they've already done it.
Yeah, twice.
It's a bit like Batman v Superman. Like
Yeah.
we've all seen Batman. We've seen Batman's origin like so many times. So now when they did Batman v Superman, they just glossed over it for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
I think they've got we've got to the point now where like I think obviously
So do you agree with these two? You don't think
I'm glad
Spider-Man,
I'm
they're
glad
gonna
they, I'm glad they didn't do the origin bit because we don't need it.
They did
Do you
reference
think they'll do it?
I've seen it already.
I think
I don't
they'll
know, I
they'll
don't
be
know.
like,
I hope they
oh,
don't.
we missed a trick of another film.
I hope they don't.
Nah. They've already referenced it. Like when they were walking down, he was like, "Oh yeah."
This is true.
Ned was like, "Oh, so can I get bit by the spider? Will I get superpowers?"
Yeah, and he was like,
and
"No,
then
it's dead."
and then
Spider's
yeah,
dead.
Spider's dead. So and also, I think they can't do a whole origins film because the whole point is that he's never encountered baddies, really.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't actually have, I don't think, any
A
material.
villain to do. the
Yeah.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
origin
that's
story.
fine. That can be a superhero movie without a villain.
Wait, the end scene is him getting bit by the spider.
No, so he
Speaking of
gets.
which, I've got a
Oh
story.
my
I've got a
god, you're
story.
gonna
Bite me.
That is the world's tiniest spider, and you've just killed it.
No, because it's like you get bit by a spider, and then he's like everything's changing about him, so he can realise he can jump really high. So he's doing like the montage of him jumping over buildings, falling down.
It would just be a hardcore parkour film.
Hardcore parkour, like it.
Like
Sequel to
it.
Hardcore Henry.
Exactly.
But I think maybe they'll do a flashback, potentially.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need it. We know what happens.
Yeah,
We all know the
everyone
origin
knows
story.
the origin stories.
I don't. What's
So what did we think of the fact that I think he's the youngest Spider-Man? He's supposed to be 15.
15.
What?
Obviously he looks quite young. And so what do we think about that? Do we want him a bit older, or do we like?
No, I prefer it that they
I liked it the way it was.
He's way too mature for a 15-year-old.
Is it? I think he's quite immature.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
very.
we're quite immature, but
Your mum's quite immature.
no,
Oh, wow.
so low. It's going to be listening to this.
Sorry, love you, Jules.
But no, I think it's a good thing they kept him so young because it keeps it more true to the original comics because he was in high school and all of that. So I think it's a good thing.
I think it was
Original.
more believable as well because
Yeah.
he looks young, whereas like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were probably in their like mid
Mid
late
to
20s.
early 30s.
and even like the guy who played Flash in the Tobey Maguire one, he looked proper old, whereas the guy at this
Yeah.
time, they all look about 16.
They look the right age.
Yeah.
Basically.
I quite like the high school drama coming of age part of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't full on superhero
No.
action.
I thought some of those things felt quite flat.
Like
Personally.
what bit?
The high school bits. I don't know.
Like homecoming,
Yeah, I don't know.
because it's their big prom night.
Yeah, there was. If I don't know, like
It's because you like drama in school.
no, it's not. Well, yeah,
Stirring the pot, mate.
I do, but like I don't know, just some of it. I don't know, it just felt quite
Dry.
not dry, just like
False.
yeah, like I've seen this before. Like this is nothing new. I've seen.
What
this,
part,
I've
have you
seen
got
this
any
before.
particular?
I don't know. Maybe just like the bits like when they went to the party and the Flash. It's mostly to do with this Flash geezer. I just don't think I liked him very much. And he was like trying to take the piss out of Peter, and I was just like, this is so lame.
Is that the Flash?
No, that's not the Flash.
No,
Oh, his
Flash.
name's
His name's
Flash.
Flash.
Name's
Yeah.
His
Flash.
name's Flash.
Gordon.
Yeah, I was-
Thompson.
Flash Thompson. That's
Frank
right.
Flash Gordon's something else.
Yeah.
He's a cop, isn't
But yeah, no, that guy was so lame.
good.
And like even some of the high school bits, just like I don't know, I just want to be feeling it.
I was really frustrated when, so spoilers obviously for Spider-Man Homecoming, but when he goes to the prom with Liz, I think that's her name,
Yeah.
and I was like, I know he's gonna flake on her, and I was like, it's just so kind of
Well, yeah,
cliched.
that whole build-up in the car with the Vulture.
That's the best part of the movie. When they find out true identities, you're like,
Yeah, that's
oh my god!
Yeah.
Like as soon as
To be
open
fair,
the
in the
door.
cinema, everyone gasped.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
And,
Oh,
I didn't see it coming.
When what's his name, Michael Keaton,
Yeah.
opened the door and saw Peter Parker saw it as Michael Keaton, everyone was a bit like, oh shit.
But that bit annoyed me because he's just standing there, just staring at him for like 5 minutes. I was like, can you just not stare at him? Just go
He's
over
15, mate.
He's 15 and he's just seen his mortal enemy.
it. Mortal enemy.
Well, in this film anyway.
Mate, he's Birdman. He shouldn't be called Vulture. He's actual Birdman.
This is true.
Yes.
Michael Keaton likes to play characters
Birds.
that are bird related.
He's gonna
Batman,
be like
Batman,
Birdman
Vulture.
from Hugo,
Vulture.
just bird shirts. Every time you see him out now, he's just gonna have a seagull on his shirt or something.
Well, okay, well, what did you think of the Vulture as a villain then? Was he?
Loved it.
I thought they portrayed him pretty well.
Yeah. I think he was threatening, more threatening than most Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, in the
villains.
last,
Yeah, because all other Marvel films are shit. All other Marvel villains are shit, mate.
Whatever, man.
especially in the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the third one, the Sandman,
Yeah.
Oh,
was
yeah.
better than him.
Yeah. I think it was alright. A lot of villains can be quite pastiche and like they're mega powerful and then they
Yeah.
get beaten up really quickly. But
Yeah.
I don't think like he wasn't himself powerful. It was
No,
his
it was his suit.
technology.
Yeah.
I like the way that they also fit all the technology into the actual event, like post Avengers clear
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So like they're using the Chitauri technology from Avengers.
Yeah,
Um,
and the Ultron.
At the
Yeah.
start of it, though, it was just like Michael Keaton's pissed off. Bam, he's now the Vulture. Well, I was like, what just happened? It was like 8 years later or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was like there was nothing about it. Like, Right, that was.
It did happen pretty quickly,
Yeah.
but I suppose they had to. They couldn't dwindle too long on Michael Keaton becoming the Vulture.
Well, a
Dunno,
supervillain
mate.
origin story would be interesting.
Well, yeah, but I mean they're doing that with Venom, though, aren't they? I know
Yeah.
we've spoken about it before.
I half expected him to appear in this, and that's
Well-
probably naive of me.
Well, he kind of did.
What, Venom?
Well, yeah, Flash Thompson does eventually become Venom.
Oh, okay.
Does he?
Yeah,
Spoiler.
But it's someone else in Spider-Man
Eddie
3.
Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the first iteration of Venom, and then he becomes anti-Venom eventually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Right.
So where do we rate this Spider-Man out of other Spider-Mans, or this Spider-Man out of
For
Marvel?
me, with the first, I'm going like obviously go by all the first films. I think Tobey Maguire's one was the best, and then I say this one was second, and then I say the Andrew Garfield one was third.
Yeah.
Personally,
I would probably also put Spider-Man 2
yeah,
above Homecoming.
yeah.
Mm.
So
Um,
Tobey Maguire's 1 and 2,
Yeah.
Homecoming.
Yep. Then.
Then it gets difficult.
Then the other three are just not on a level.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than Amazing Spider-Man 1 because I liked the villain better, like Electro, rather than
Yeah.
the lizard bloke.
which one did spoiler? Which one did Gwen Stacy do?
It was Amazing
Second
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that was the better one.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'd probably go, yeah, that one, then Spider-Man 3, and then Amazing Spider-Man.
yeah.
Maybe.
I think I'd agree with that, to be fair.
Okay, then as an overall film then, how did we like Spider-Man Homecoming?
I thought it was decent.
Yeah, I thought it would be
Solid 7.5. Maybe pushing it.
pushing 8.
Maybe
Yeah.
pushing an 8.
No,
Really?
I'd say easy at 8.
I mean,
I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was pretty good.
Did
Like,
you not rate it that highly?
Not really. I said it was on a level with Ant-Man, and I liked Ant-Man, don't get me wrong.
Glenn's got arachnophobia, isn't it? So he was like freaking
Yeah.
out.
oh, Tom Holland.
Yeah, it was like, it had this, a lot of humour with, like, so Ant-Man, but I kind of felt that a lot of humour was forced.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying this
Yeah, it
to you the other day. They were using the sidekick. What was his name? Ned.
Mm-hmm.
No,
They were
yeah.
using him as like a common this gets some laughs out of him sort of thing. But
Yeah.
it wasn't really working. I don't know. Maybe
Well, I don't know. I quite liked Ned's character.
I liked him as well. But I'm saying like some of the things that he was making was obviously with the intention of the audience to like laugh. But I didn't think. I think some of them kind of fell flat. Well, majority of them, I think. Kind
Yeah.
of fell flat, personally. But I still enjoyed it. He was still a good character, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't realise the kid was so fucking smart. He was doing all the nonsense with the computers and that. I was like,
Yeah.
fair enough. But,
Yeah, I'd say it was, Ant-Man level. I went in, I didn't really have any expectations for it. I didn't think it was going to be
So you
good.
think it's better than Captain America?
The first one, yeah.
Speaking of which, there's an Easter egg in Spider-Man that relates to Captain America, the first one.
Let's hear it.
The principal of the school
Yes, I
is
saw
a
that.
descendant of Captain America's team in World War Two.
Yeah. It's played by the same actor.
Same actor.
Oh, he looked well familiar. I was
Yeah.
thinking, like, I've definitely seen you.
And there's a
before.
photo, isn't there?
Yeah, in the
On it.
first time we went to see it, I looked at him and I thought I recognised him, but only in the second my second viewing did I realise.
Oh, so it was?
Yeah.
Mm.
I really enjoyed it.
You nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd.
I didn't like what they did with Mary Jane though.
That was
Well,
shit.
yeah.
It's a bit lame.
Oh no, she didn't say Mary Jane. She just
No,
said
it's-
MJ.
Yeah, it was kind of bait that she
Could
was,
be anyone.
actually
But
was.
her name is Michelle as well.
Yeah,
But my friends call me MJ.
MJ, yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of bait that she was going to be MJ. Although I actually found her character kind of funny.
She was just this, like,
She
she
did-
was
she
the
just-
archetypal kind of, not gothy, but like moody teenager.
Doesn't give
Yeah.
a shit about
Yeah.
anything.
She was like, I don't care, but she's around all the time. She's around all the time, like
Yeah,
around
she's
everyone.
literally there.
I think that I found that quite funny.
I
And even the bit
draw
where,
people's misery.
even the bit where I don't know, I think it was towards the end of the film where everyone was like waving to Peter, and she goes, "Hi." I was at the prom, and she was like, "Hi," and she put her finger
him
up.
off.
And that's
Yeah.
just such a simple thing to make me laugh. Yeah,
Simple comedy.
exactly.
Yeah, I thought, yeah.
Yeah, good one, mate.
Yeah, it was just meh for me. It was alright. It wasn't as bad as, it wasn't any better or worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
We probably sit in the middle of like our MCU rankings for me.
Mm.
What do we think about like the involvement of Iron Man
Shit, shouldn't be there.
and
Sod off.
the fact that the suit
Lame.
has basically all the powers, and it
Yeah.
kind of feels like, for me, it feels like the suit is more of the hero than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So like previous iterations have been like they've got spider sense or they've got like organic web, and you know they don't have all these combinations and they don't have Karen or whatever her name is being like.
Yeah, I didn't really like the fact that the suit was so mechanised. If that's the right word, because you're right. It sort of takes away from the power of Spider-Man a little, like him learning how to do all that stuff on his own and becoming Spider-Man. It sort of gives it to him.
Yeah, it feels like the suit is.
Story,
Not like it.
But would we prefer the organic web or the actual canisters?
I prefer
No, yeah, it's got to be, you know, it's got to be.
I don't like the what's it called?
The web fluid.
The web, like because Chris was saying like that's like a common comic book thing, and I'm like, fair enough, but I prefer Tobey Maguire.
Having the little web things on his wrist.
I much prefer that. But
that would be great if it just wasn't on his wrist and it was awkward like on his foot. And he was like, oh no!
in reality, should you not be able to do that? Should you not be able to do that? Or can where do spiders
shoot their web and then bum?
Out their bum,
Don't worry.
Fair enough. But
that'd be a weird looking Spider-Man just like hanging from his ass, swinging about.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you about this suit actually a while ago because we weren't sure like how much Iron Man was going to be in the film. I didn't mind how much he was in the film because obviously he was in it quite sporadically, only 3 or 4 times.
He was in the film the right amount.
Yeah, I think he was a decent amount. But I do agree with you about the suit. I think like having an automated suit, that's Iron Man's thing.
Yeah.
Like, and with Jarvis and all that stuff. Like, I don't think that they should like, I don't know.
But I mean,
you don't really need 2 people with that sort of.
Yeah, but I mean, in the Avengers film, he's going to wear that suit that Tony showed him at the end of the film, and you know he's going to be able to like fly and do all kind of weird shit in that.
So anyone could be Spider-Man.
Pretty much. That's
He's made the suit so anyone could be Spider-Man.
Why didn't you want Iron Man to be in it?
Because Spider-Man's better without any other Marvel characters. just is.
Fair enough.
But I was going to ask, how many more films have they got? Films lined up for Spider-Man?
3.
More?
Yeah, 3. They've announced one for the first film after the second Avengers film.
Yeah.
Or the third one, the second part of the third one.
Okay.
Avengers 4.
So he's going to be in Avengers Infinity War,
Yeah,
Avengers 4, and then Spider-Man Homecoming 2, or whatever it will be titled.
Yeah, I think it's just Spider-Man 2.
I'm coming too.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment.
I'm 16.
But actually, this is
Every year.
This is some film news. So Kevin Feige, who's the big producer guy, and I think her name's Amy Pascal. She's a Sony producer. They said that so at the end of Avengers 4, that finishes the 22 film arc that they've been building,
and then they're doing another one.
Then it starts again. So there'll be a whole new arc, which I guess implies that a lot of the current Avengers will die or be replaced.
Yeah, well,
and I wouldn't be
I was
surprised.
gonna say, I thought they would.
I wouldn't be surprised if all of them don't come back. So,
well, you know, Spider-Man's coming back.
Well, I mean, in the sense that the 4 main ones. So Hulk. Well, actually, maybe Hulk because he's not important.
Hulk won't die.
Thor. I think he probably won't come back.
No,
Iron Man probably won't, and then I think Steve Rogers probably won't.
You think they're all going to die?
I don't think.
You think that's how they're going to end?
I don't think they'll necessarily die, but I just don't think. I think those actors won't come back. I think they'll have to pass the mantle on.
Hulk and Thor won't die because Hulk basically can't die.
Yeah, but I just don't think that.
And Thor's a god, so he won't die. Iron Man will die. Captain America will die. Nick Fury, Black Widow will die.
No.
You don't think so?
I know that Nick Fury doesn't because he's going to be in Captain Marvel, which is released after.
Oh yeah, but I'm speaking.
Oh right, okay.
No, Captain Marvel's after Infinity War.
Okay. Oh, maybe he will die then.
Avengers 4.
Maybe he will.
But yeah, a lot of them will die.
You really think that they're not just going to ride off into the sunset and make all the audience happy? Would you be happy seeing Captain America dead?
I would.
Would you? Speechless.
But this is the thing: if they stay true to the comic book, Thanos basically destroys everyone.
Yeah.
Do you think like maybe if they do what you say and they start like a new wave of Avengers, who do you think would be the leader? I reckon Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I reckon Spider-Man would be.
I want to go with. I think you said it last week where you were saying like Spider-Man's better than all of them, but not so.
I think it was Chris saying that.
Was it Chris?
I think so.
Yeah.
Not so much like powers, but more like his morals.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, definitely for Homecoming, that's all I was thinking. Like he's like well innocent and he's got really good moral
Yeah,
code.
well, you could tell by Tony Stark the way that he views Peter Parker.
Yeah,
He's
I want
very
him to be
much
better
like-
than me.
Yeah, exactly.
But he,
Be me, but don't do
Peter
anything
Parker has
about
the
it.
same morals as Bruce Wayne should have. I know Ben Affleck, like,
Well, yeah.
In
they're
what
very-
way?
so like they have the same morals. They don't kill. They're like quite, you
and
know.
they try and save everyone.
Yeah, everyone's trying to save everyone, whereas like a lot of Avengers kill people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
Not
think
even accidentally.
I would like Spider-Man to be the focus, but I don't know what that means. That means that they have to get the rights back, or they have to keep co-producing all these films. That's going to be a bit of a headache
I
for
reckon
them.
they'll co-produce it.
I mean, Sony,
Just
like,
all the way.
I don't know how much money this film's made actually, but I'm sure.
I'd imagine it's going to make quite a bit.
Homecoming, Obi. On
Look
the
up how- look
on
up
the
how much
stats.
it's
Oh,
made.
right,
Go
on
on.
the stats.
But I'm sure they'll be quite happy with whatever the return for it is, plus all the
Well,
merchandising and stuff.
Exactly.
But yeah, I
that's
hope
the thing,
it-
they can sell so many toys now.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried. Like, not worried, but after the 22 films end, I'm just not bothered about like Doctor Strange and like I like the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't know how many like all what the trajectories are going to be. Like, I don't know if I want to see all of those characters keep coming back. I really liked the chemistry between like Thor, Captain America, Hulk, and
Yeah.
Iron Man.
That
And I know
original,
they spent a lot of time building that.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how they're going to recreate it or what's going to happen.
If you could be any one of them, who'd you be?
Iron Man.
You'd be Iron Man.
Yeah, boy.
Alright.
I'd be Spider-Man because I really like Spider-Man. It's my
Fair
favourite
enough.
one.
Actually, Thor might die because doesn't Mjolnir, his hammer, get destroyed?
Get destroyed in Ragnarok, yeah.
Yeah.
But spoiler alert, I think he's going to get an axe.
An axe.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
From a hammer to an axe.
Yep.
That'd be sick. He'll be like Gimli then, wouldn't he?
I think that's the whole trajectory of the Ragnarok film is Hammer gets destroyed and then he goes through a whole thing of having
I
an
know,
axe.
I wish it
and
like
maybe
you should have
getting
like knuckle
Hammer
dusters.
back.
With like
120 million,
Thor.
roughly.
It's made.
Really?
120 million, yeah, first weekend.
Oh,
Jesus.
I don't know.
Well, it only came out Wednesday. That's quite a lot.
That's in the UK. I don't know when it came out in America.
Oh, that's true.
But yeah, I'm sure it'll do good business.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
A couple of other things I want to say
Mm.
that I've noticed in the film.
Mm.
So, on the ferry bit,
Yeah.
you know where the bad guys were doing the deal?
Yeah.
That Hispanic looking guy,
Mm.
he had a scorpion tattoo on his neck.
Was that not the guy in prison? Well, the guy in prison also had a
Yeah.
scorpion tattoo.
He's going to be the villain, the scorpion.
Yeah.
Probably in the next film, which
Mhm.
could open up the Sinister Six.
Because they've already got 3 of the 6, haven't they?
Exactly.
So-
Who are the 3 of the 6?
Vulture, Shocker, and Scorpion.
Then you have Rhino, Doctor Octopus.
And Venom?
No, I don't think.
I like how it's all about animals. You could have so many.
Yeah, exactly.
Otter boy. Oh my god! What is it? Sea urchin attack? Just throwing sea urchin.
There is a Marvel hero called Squirrel Girl, I think.
Is there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh.
Isn't that Sandy Fox from SpongeBob?
Sick. What other
Sandy
Easter eggs?
Cheeks.
Sandy Cheeks. Sorry.
Another Easter egg I found, or I noticed, was when they're under the bridge and the bad guys are trying to sell the black guy the weapons.
Charles Gambino.
Childish Gambino. He is another character in Spider-Man. I can't remember the name of him, but he is the uncle of Miles Morales, which is Spider-Man
Yeah.
version.
And
two.
yeah, he says I've got a nephew in the city, doesn't he?
Exactly.
I was like, see.
It's been, I didn't even know who the guy was, but as soon as he said, "Oh, I've got a nephew in the city," I'm thinking, "You're black. Your nephew's probably Miles Morales." I don't even know who Miles Morales is, but I reckon
It was quite a diverse film, actually, wasn't it?
It really
Like,
was,
All the
it really was.
students.
Yeah.
There was one of in the when they were in detention, and then there was like loads of pictures of loads of like historical figures from different times, and they were all like of different colours. I was like, this is a very progressive school.
Yeah.
There was one of, I think, do you remember I was talking ages ago about the documentary? I think it was by James Baldwin, or I'm Not Your Negro.
Yeah.
Yeah, his picture was on the
Okay.
was on the thing as well.
I guess that's reflective of the city that they live in and stuff. I'm trying to think of other Easter eggs that I found. Did you notice the Spider-Man theme tune at the beginning?
Yeah.
I didn't really like.
Did you not?
I
liked it.
It was too orchestral.
Okay.
It was like.
Yeah, but they couldn't exactly use that.
That's what they could have.
Well,
I was like,
Do you like the
Throwback
new,
Thursday.
you know, the new Marvel comic book opening thing? Do you like?
Yeah, I like that.
I prefer the other one. I think I prefer the other one. But I like this
what,
one.
the comic book.
Yeah, I like this one.
pages.
But I think I prefer the other one.
How about talking about the start? How about we talk about the ending?
What the very end?
The very end.
So
I liked it.
end credits.
Oh.
scene.
I
warned you lot about.
I did. I thought it was really funny.
So
there are two end credits.
yeah.
Yeah.
Scenes.
There are two post-credit scenes, and I saw it before everyone else. And I stayed to the bitter end, and I messaged him on our group chat. I was like, "Look, there are two post-credit scenes, but the last one, like, don't bother." So, right, what is it? What do we wait the entire length of the credits for?
Yeah, credits are long, man. They're just gonna longer
They
and
were.
longer. It's like 15 minutes, and then it comes out with Captain America. I thought it was gonna be like him doing like a tuition thing.
Yeah. But he basically said, "Thanks for waiting for nothing."
Yeah, it's
that was funny, man. I don't know why you guys.
I mean, it was funny, but it was so pointless.
I was
funny.
I was
man.
like, I've just wasted so much time. It was funny.
It was funny.
But then, yeah, he says, like, thank you for your patience. But I thought that he meant, so you could take it as, like, wait until the end, thank you for your
But
patience
you
for
could
that.
also take it
As,
for Spider-Man.
yeah, I was like,
I mean,
what,
yeah.
thanks for your patience for, like, he's now back in the MCU. Sort of
I
thing.
took it as the first one you just said.
I mean, also, I thought Homecoming, it's all about home, like, the prom,
Spider-Man coming
but he's coming home
yeah.
to Marvel.
Yeah.
That's what I thought as well.
Fair enough.
Double entendres.
Exactly.
Interesting.
It's getting deep now.
It is
Deep,
getting
so many
really
hidden
deep.
meanings.
You know that little blonde girl in Spider-Man as well? I thought she was going to turn out to be Gwen Stacy.
Which little blonde girl?
The only
What,
little
Liz-
blonde girl. She does
Liz's
like the
friend.
yeah. She does the
news thing.
TV thing.
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
and she,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
She looked like Gwen Stacy, but apparently her name's Betty. Betty Swallow.
I like that. We know that Pepper Potts and Tony Stark.
Yeah, I really like that.
Because I thought they broke
I
up.
was so surprised that Gwyneth Paltrow came back.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought she was finished with
Yeah.
the films. I was like, oh wow, okay.
No, I really like that bit.
Are we sure she was real and not CGI?
She could be. Yeah. You never know.
she was actually a suit that Iron Man made.
And then I like
It's
what
got a
Happy
sex
said.
robot
He
wife.
had the ring in his finger from 2008,
2008. Yeah, that's another.
referencing the first Iron Man film.
But also, the woman who voices Karen is the wife of Paul Bettany, who voiced Jarvis.
Oh really?
Oh, cool.
So that's another little.
Oh,
I think her name's Jennifer Connelly. if you
He's
know
the one
that.
that plays Vision.
Yeah. And I don't understand why Peter Parker. I do understand, but I don't understand why he doesn't want to officially join the Avengers. I was kind of
He's
like,
got to like leave school and shit. He
Yeah.
still wants to be a kid. I think that was the point.
But then,
because
I
he's trying
kind
to
of-
grow up too fast.
but then they need to get him back somehow for Avengers 3.
They will.
Yeah, summer holidays and that. Innit?
So, yeah, it's back on the
School
starting
trip.
attention.
Going to
One
Australia.
other problem I had with it is I kind of felt some of the graphics looked really bad.
I don't like his suit. I think graphics are fine, personally, but yeah, I didn't mind the CGI. I thought it was okay, but I didn't really like his suit. I feel like, and I thought this in when he first appeared in Civil War as well. I feel like he doesn't look real. Looks really like gleamy and silky and shiny and
Is the eyes as well?
yeah.
That's like
It just doesn't look real to me.
Reaction lenses.
nah. It's all eyes.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a
If
fan
he
of
gets
the
punched in
suit.
the face though, surely it'll just like pop out.
Yeah.
But no, everything else I thought was cool. You know, like Shocker doing all, like
Yeah.
the what's it called? That gadget that made it so you could like go through solid
Yeah.
objects.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That'd be really useful. That'd be really useful object to use in general.
That was sick, yeah. No, but just
For general life, for what? Like what?
Like the games that was getting stuff from the fridge without having them to open the door.
Is that it?
that
Yeah.
was decent, mate.
General life.
Walking through walls.
You'd never have to use.
Yeah,
the
but
door
that's
again.
called a door.
You'd never have to use the door again.
Innit?
You just throw the magnets on the wall and walk straight through.
Exactly.
So some of the graphics.
What if they? What if? Sorry.
Bank
What,
robberies.
what if you drop them on the floor though? You're just like ah!
No, it's-
Yeah, that would cause a problem.
But yeah, so like some of the graphics were good, but then the part I noticed it most was on the ferry. Like if you look at the bottom of the ferry where the water is, there's a part of it, so it looks like real water, and then around the actual bottom, obviously where they're CGIing it, looks for me, it just looked
To be fair, I didn't actually
shocking.
notice it.
I was like, I was looking at the cars and like they're sinking, and I was like, the point of CGI is that it should be invisible.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't know what it was. So like when he's on the top of the Washington Monument,
Yeah.
that entire background is CGI,
Yeah.
but you don't know it,
No.
or it's been imposed in.
Yeah.
Whereas that I could
So
tell
why
there
do
was
they
a
do that?
physical
Could they not
separation
just-
between the water, the real water, and the fake
Yeah,
water.
yeah.
But I think they do have problems with water and stuff with
Yeah.
CGI.
Well, yeah, water's
You can't
very
get-
hard to do.
If you've
imagine
ever
anyway.
played a games console game, it's
Yeah.
like water's the one thing no one knows how to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But it's weird though, because like you can do things like create photorealistic gorillas
Yeah.
for War of the Planet of the
Yeah.
Rise of the Dawn.
but you can't do water. I don't know.
It has different physics to it, though, doesn't it? Water's very all over the place, unnatural.
Gorillas aren't.
Did you just say water's unnatural?
In
Wow.
its
You're,
movement-
you're unnatural.
in its
Joey's
movement.
not. Joey's not chemistry
In its
graduate.
movement. But yeah.
Okay, well, what other films have we watched this week?
They've been really poor.
I watched Hustle and Flow.
What's that?
It's a porno.
That is it sounds not too bad. It does sound like a porno, but that is a film produced by John Singleton, who did Boys in the Hood as well, which is a really good film. But it's a film about a pimp who basically sees someone from his like the town. He thinks from Memphis. So like someone, I bet you were thinking the pie then. But,
no, it's Tennessee actually.
but yeah, he sees someone who grew up in his town becomes like a really famous rapper, goes like platinum, and he's basically like looking at his life as like a pimp, and he's thinking like, I can do better than this, because I think he's like approaching his 40s, so he's thinking like having like a midlife crisis sort of thing. So he he meets up with someone who he used to go to school with, who does like producing and like records and stuff like that. But his life's kind of like taken like a left turn as well. So he's not really, he wanted to be like a big time producer, blah blah blah. But he's like I think he's just recording like depositions for lawyers or something like that. So he's not really doing what he wants to do either. And he takes them to this church, his church, and they watch this woman sing, and this woman like sings like beautifully, like kind of like opera sort of thing, and like everyone's like crying like 'cause it's so beautiful. And he's basically like, I want to do music, like I want to do this properly sort of thing. So they kind of like make their own like budget studio.
Is this based off like a story or
I don't think so.
true events?
I don't think so. It might be. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it that much. But yeah, so they make their own budget studio, produce their own records and stuff like that. And basically, he's got like 3 main hoes. I didn't really know what. Prostitutes. Sorry, I was thinking what. Okay, so there is. Oh God, what's the woman's name? There's one of them who's, I can't remember her name. She's not terribly important. Then there's Nora or Nola or something like that, and she plays Pennsatucky in Orange Is the New Black. And then there is Shug, who's played by Taraji P. Henson, and she's pregnant. And all 3 of these prostitutes have like a really, it's kind of the same but really different relationship with their pimp. So like one of them is kind of like, I don't need you, like I make all the money, but I do need you. So she's like kind of like chat shit to him all the time because she's bringing in the most money out of the 3 of them, and she works like a strict on that. So she likes chatting shit to him because she thinks that he doesn't care about her and stuff like that. And then she's like was like when he was doing his music thing or trying to get it off the ground, she was like proper disrespecting him. And he was like, all right then, so you can just get the fuck out then and get to her stuff, and chucks it. She has a baby as well. Gets her stuff, chucks out the window, gets the baby out of his, gets the baby in his chair, puts it outside the door, shuts the door, and then she's like crying like, oh, where am I supposed to go, sort of thing. So there's that side, and then you've got Nora. I'm gonna say Nora. I'm not sure that's actually her name, but I'm gonna say Nora, and she's like the main prostitute on the streets, basically, and she's kind of like got this like sort of she doesn't really know herself. She doesn't have a misplaced self-worth sort of thing.
Okay.
So like she basically does whatever. What's the guy's name? Bloody hell, Telltale's name. Oh,
Hustler.
DJ. Sorry, his name's DJ.
Hustler.
He does whatever she does whatever he says, pretty much. So like, he needed a new microphone, and it was like $250, and he's basically like, yeah, suck this man off, and so I can get this microphone. And she was reluctant, but she did it anyway. She was like really angry, and she like wants to be involved in everything because she wants to feel more important.
Yeah.
So then it comes to the end of the film, and he's kind of like he's like to her like, you're in charge sort of thing. You need to take charge, and she like embraces that and like runs with it, and basically she's pretty much the key to their success at the end of the film. So then there's her, and then the third one is the pregnant one. That's Suge, and she like basically loves DJ, and she's the one who pretty much like, always goes back. Like, she looks after his child, buys him stuff, and then he let her be in his first song, like just singing the hook and stuff like that, and like she was saying like how much it meant to her, blah blah blah. And then I think they kind of get together at the end, but they don't really. But yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, it was interesting seeing like all three of these women's relationships with someone who's like, I mean, kind of abusing them, but obviously also giving them a home, giving them somewhere to stay, you know, giving them money.
Slavery, really.
It really is. But like they don't need him, but obviously they feel mentally in their minds that they do need
It's like
him.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
You need me, man. I don't need you.
So yeah, it was weird seeing like their dynamic, and then they make like a couple songs in that, and then they go to see the rap star that I mentioned at the beginning, the one who's like gone really big. DJ goes to see him, and basically there's like some sort of he gives it like the big I am, like he was saying to everyone that, oh yeah, I know him, he knows me, we went to different schools, but we know each other, blah blah. When he gets to the bar, like turns out he doesn't know him at all, like he's like terrified to go to his table and speak to him, sort of thing. So he needs to like have a drink first, and then he eventually
sounds like every night out.
But no, he goes over to him. They have a chat. He properly like, because he's known as like the weed guy. So the rapper's thinking like, I think his name's Skinny Black, but he's thinking like, oh, okay, this is just the guy who's gonna bring my weed. So he's like probably disrespecting him. And then DJ was like, oh, like what happened to you? Sort of like, you lost your way, you sold out, blah blah. And then they have a like pretty deep conversation. And at the end of that, he's like, oh, here's my mixtape, because he thought that, oh yeah, we've made a really good connection. Like, we're like friends now. Here's my mixtape. Can you please listen to it and then tell me what you think? Blah blah blah. And then he's about to leave. Then he goes to the toilet and sees the mixtape, like ripped. It's like an actual cassette tape. Like he's ripped out all the, don't even know what it's called.
Tape.
All the tape, yeah, whatever. And he's chucked it in the toilet. And he gets really angry and starts beating up Skinny Black. And then his like entourage comes in to the toilet. And they're like, what the fuck? And he basically just grabs his gun, shoots one of the entourage, and then like uses it as like a human body shield to get out of the pub or club they're in or whatever. And then so then he drives all the way home to find like police all around his house. Basically, they've called the police, and he gets arrested and he goes to prison for I think 11 months. So you think the dream? This is like right at the end of the film. So you think the dream's over, but then his producer comes and visits him in prison, and he's like telling him like what's been going on since. He's been in prison. I'm not sure how long the time length is, but he's telling him what's going on. And the way he's going, thinking, oh yeah, this is going to end like bad. It's sad. Like it's not going well. But then he like kind of like uplifts it by saying, yeah. So one of the prostitutes, Nora, was going around because she got told that she was in charge. So she like took that and ran with it, and she was like going around every radio station in like the whole town, giving everyone the demo tape until someone played it and they got it on the radio. And I think they become successful, and then it ends with him going back to his cell, and some guards are like, "Oh, you're that guy who just released the song on the radio. Here's my mixtape. Can you give it a listen to see what you think?" And then he's like, "Oh yeah, everybody's got to have a dream." And then he walks away and fades to black. And
Nice.
But yeah, it's a pretty good film. It's all right. You know, I thought it was going to be better than it was because it was nominated for like quite a lot of awards.
Yeah.
So I thought, let me watch this, but it was decent. Yeah.
It won best song at the Oscars, I think.
Yeah.
Out of 10?
7.5.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Have you got it on DVD?
No, I watched it on Sky Movies.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, sounds all right then. Is it? Kind of sounds like the prequel to the TV show Empire.
It actually could be.
Because it's like
actually
two
could be,
characters,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you were which of the three prostitutes would you rather be?
I'd rather be Suge because she was like the most caring one and the one that DJ cared about the most.
You want DJ to care for you?
Yeah, but well, yeah, I do. Like the other one, which she had probably an overinflated sense of self-worth, and that ended up getting her kicked out, and she had like nowhere to go, and she ended up at the film. then in the film, like when everyone was hearing the song being played on the radio, she just looked proper bitter. Like I didn't want to be you right now. But and then the other one, she was sweet, but she was like a bit too needy. Like there was a bit where Suge was laying down the chorus for one of his songs, and she did it really well, and she was a sick. And then Nork was bodging like, "Can I lay that one as well? Can I lay that one as well?" He's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And then it was probably funny. They were recording. They weren't even recording. They were just talking actually. And she came and sat down in the studio. She literally sat down for 1 second. He looked at her and said, "Get the fuck up out of that seat," and then she got up and walked out. It was really funny. But yeah, she just gets like disrespected like left, right, and centre. Yeah, it's good.
I might check that out then. That sounds like my sort of film. I saw Predator.
Yes,
yesterday.
you did.
So I hadn't seen it before. This is like the 1987 something, so the 80s. So obviously we know Alien versus Predator, but I was like,
On his debut.
Arnie. So I was like, let's see what Predator's all about. It's the Alien films. So it's these like, not mercenaries, they're like soldiers for hire that get recruited by Carl Weathers, who's the guy from Rocky. He plays like Apollo Creed. And he's also he plays himself in Arrested Development, if anyone ever watches that.
No.
That's really funny, you should watch that. Yeah, so like, they've got like a diplomat who's been kidnapped or something, and they're like sending Arnie and his crew in. And then they find like lots of other soldiers who've been like skinned alive and been like eaten parts of, and then Arnie's like, what the hell is this? I thought no one was supposed to be here apart from the diplomat.
Yeah.
Turns out that they're just trying to kind of get rid of a group of people, and they've been taken off one by one by the Predator.
Yeah.
But obviously the Predator's invisible, and he's seeking them out. He's got like missiles and shit.
Yeah.
It was a proper good action film. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not normally into kind of 80s films. I don't appreciate them as much as people who watched them at the time do.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thought maybe I wouldn't appreciate this film, but it was good. Obviously
Classic,
the graphics are a bit like
Special effects.
Now they look a bit kind of
yeah,
dated, but for the time it's like that must have been quite a difficult process. Like especially when you can see the silhouette of the Predator, even though he's actually invisible. And then it's really interesting. Like Arnie figures out that they could only see in thermal, so he like covers himself in mud. And it was good. And
You
it was,
ugly motherfucker.
it's just such a quotable line. Like when he barges into the room and he's like knock knock, and then obviously it's the get to the chopper.
Yeah.
So proper good action film. And
You've seen AVP, haven't you? Alien
Yeah.
vs Predator. So this was a few weeks back. Do you remember I was saying that like when they go down to the pyramid, when the predators come down because they only see in thermal, there's a guy who's falling down the hole and he's all like covered in frost and snow and he's like cold. Yet they'd see him, and I thought because of Arnie in Predator, because they only see thermals, that guy should have been invisible.
yeah.
Or they evolved.
But there
Or
was
they
only
evolved,
one
maybe.
Predator in this.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen Predator 2 yet, so I assume there will be more than one Predator.
There was another one.
There is
a new one.
Well,
coming out.
there's one with Adrian Brody called Predators, and that's like they go to another planet and have to kill lots of predators. They're all criminals and something.
Oh, right.
That was pretty crap. And then there's one coming out next year called The Predator, which
okay.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a sequel or reboot or whatever. But yeah,
I think it's quite cool how it goes from Predator with Arnie is in where are they in like
Central America,
the jungle in Central America,
like Belize or
whereas
something.
Predator 2 they're in like I think LA or they're just like right in the
really?
middle of an urban city.
Oh, really?
So it's like absolute contrast. There's nothing like there's no in between ground. So it's like seeing how Predator survives in like two different environments.
Yeah.
So I wonder where the next one's going to be.
Well, the third one, Predators, is on another planet. And I don't know where the Predator will be.
Ah.
But yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised. Is Predator 2 any good?
Not as good.
Okay. I was surprised Arnie's not in it.
No.
I need to watch more of the Arnie films.
Glenn, just quickly, sorry. You know, you was talking about Spider-Man and that girl who you thought was Gwen Stacy, and her name was Betty. Apparently, she's like a famous girlfriend of Peter Parker in the comics as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I thought I'd just tell you that.
Oh, decent.
Yeah.
What a player. Cool.
Mate, he gets around.
He does. What slag. I also watched another, like, old school action film called Point Break from 1991. Got Keanu Reeves, proper fresh faced, and Patrick Swayze looking like an absolute gimp in his like mullet and like little bit of beard.
Bringing it back, mate. Bringing it back.
So this is like from 1991. Yeah, so it's directed by Catherine Bigelow, who did like Zero Dark 30, Hurt Locker, and it's basically about surfers. So it's like Keanu Reeves is like FBI agent, like fresh out of Quantico or whatever it's called, and then he's got to try and infiltrate this surfer gang because he thinks that they're doing all these armed robberies. And I was just like, my mum was like, "You've got to watch this film, it's amazing." And I was like, "Okay," I watched it, and I was like, "Wow."
It's from Hot Fuzz, where he's going to shoot his dad. He's like, "No!"
Yeah.
So I thought I have to watch it because it's like one of those kind of like quote unquote classics. But that was one of the films that I didn't really appreciate because it kind of just seemed really kind of.
See, Glenn, now you're getting into watching good films, mate.
I didn't think it was that good. I mean, it wasn't bad, but like. It kind of felt like some sort of MTV Cribs surfing doc. So like there was just loads of like money shots of waves crashing. I was like, this looks like some sort of pornographic surfer's wet dream. And like the action was all right, but obviously like Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves characters become friends. But then he has to kind of like arrest him, and then he gets like gets involved in the crimes. But then I was just thinking, like,
Fast and Furious.
That's the thing. Like, people have said that Fast and Furious is basically Point Break with cars. But Keanu Reeves is such a shit FBI agent. Like, he gets loads of people killed. He botches another operation. He lets the guy go several times and gets involved in their crimes. And I was just like, and then like,
I say that's pretty good FBI agent. He's getting their trust.
But then
and there's nothing more.
So like the whole film, the whole end bit is like he's trying to find Patrick Swayze's character's called Bodhi. He's like trying to find Bodhi, and then Keanu Reeves is called Johnny Utah, which is a really cool name. But so then like so Keanu Reeves has to do one crime because he falls in love and like they kidnap her, blah blah blah. And then Bodhi escapes, and then but somehow like Keanu Reeves isn't fired. Okay. And then 2 years later, he tracks him down, and then there's this like mega tsunami that's coming, and he wants to surf it. And then Bodhi's like, "Come on, man, you gotta let me do this." And then John Utah's like, "Okay." So he like lets him go, and then like Bodhi dies surfing. But I was kind of like,
we don't know that.
well, you assume that's the assumption.
Live in the highlights.
But then he like. I was like, and then he throws his FBI badge away. I was like, you would have been fired anyway. Not only if you let this guy go like 3 times, but
maybe he was fired. Maybe he's just rogue and he keeps the badge.
It's so. I was just like, it was like when you talk about realism in films. It's like there's no way that he would still be an FBI agent. Like considering he's still probably in his like probation.
Yeah, but that being said, in the 80s, you know, probably let a lot of things slide, didn't it?
But it also has the guy who played what's his name? Dr. something from Scrubs.
Dr. Cox.
You would know.
John C. McGinley or his name?
Yeah. But he was on good films.
I was thinking about him the other day. Like he was in a film that I saw recently. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, he was like the best character in Scrubs.
Oh yeah.
And yet he's not in any film.
Yeah.
Really. That's
the thing. Like
I think he's in Black Hawk Down. I don't know.
There are some actors who just stick to TV, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he's fucking sick. Speaking of TV, then, so
Ollie for host, mate. Ollie for host. What a segue. Go on, then.
I went and watched American Gods.
The vagina sucking.
Have you watched all of
Yeah, literally, because you were talking about someone getting eaten by a vagina, I was like, I'm gonna have to watch this. Pretty sure that's how Glenn wants to die.
That's some weird like Oedipal Freudian thing. Like Freud would have a field day on you. You want to be consumed by the vagina. Anyway,
so
Tell us
I
about
watched
It was
it.
Freud to be your mum's vagina, right?
yeah, probably.
Anyway,
Carry on.
anyway.
So yeah, man, it's really slow. It is really slow. I'm not gonna recommend it. It's got a
Is it
lot
like
of
loads of setup?
Huh?
Is it like loads of setup for like season 2? You think?
Yeah, but it's really like how far have you got?
I've only watched the second episode.
Okay, so I won't spoil it, but there's I think halfway through there's like an episode, and it's like, you know, with Breaking Bad when they had the fly episode, and they're just trying to make up an episode. It was literally like I watched this whole episode. I was hoping there was going to be some sort of like meaning to the ending of this episode. I literally got my hands on my computer and I was like shaking it. I was like, you just wasted an hour of my life. Oh my god. So it's really slow. If any of you, have you guys seen Fargo with Billy
Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
No. I saw the first couple of episodes.
So it's I think it's kind of on a similar tone to that, because it's like such a slow setup that there's going to be something huge at the end, but it's like it's just really, really dull. In my opinion. Obviously, if anyone disagrees, then give us a shout.
To be fair, the 2 episodes I've watched have been pretty slow.
Yeah.
Even like True Detective, it's really slow going.
That is really slow, but you know that does have like, I don't know. I think for that
it has benefits.
it's a lot of suspense. So you are trying to find a serial killer, whereas this, like, I don't know if I'm watching like. The main character could be dead, and it's like he's just living in this like fake world, because it's like it's not real, because it's like a modern day of gods pretty much, and how they're trying to survive in a world that religion is, I think, I would say, is becoming less and less commonplace.
Yeah.
So it's that's pretty much the story.
From the 2 episodes that I've watched, I'm guessing that basically every character in the series is a version of an iconic American stereotype that is regarded as a god. So they're the head of that sort of stereotype, and it's going along that path.
Well, what sort of stereotype?
So you have a farmer, a businessman, a tech kid, that I've seen so far, a leprechaun, Irish.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Americans all think they're Irish, don't they? Or Italian.
Yeah. But
Well, yeah, you find out who Ian McShane is,
oh, right, okay.
because he is a god.
Mr. Wednesday.
Mr. Wednesday. I thought he was Lucifer.
Right.
I thought he was going to be the devil or something, because he's like well cunning and gets his way sort of thing. And he's like, the only thing I fear is being forgotten. And I think that's like, isn't that like the devil's biggest trick?
It's convincing the world that he doesn't exist.
That's the one. So yeah, you find out who he is,
Right.
but I don't know, man. Don't know where it's going to go.
It's just all
Literally,
over the place.
that's the one thing that I would say I like about it, is that I have no fucking clue what is going to be in the next episode.
Oh, so you haven't
like-
finished the series yet?
No, not yet. I think
Okay.
there's a couple more episodes.
How many episodes was it? 8.
I think it's 10 episodes, but I've seen 8. But I have no idea where it's going to go, and just find out, man.
Keep us updated. Is
Yeah.
that you're waiting for another episode to be released or something? do you
Yeah, I
think?
think so. Yeah.
When it finishes, let me know if it's worth watching.
Yeah.
I'll say now, no, you're not going to like
No,
it.
oh, fair enough.
Is it something I'd watch?
Yeah, yes, probably. No, I don't know.
No. Okay.
I've got a bit of. Are we done? Sorry, are you still talking about?
Mate, go ahead.
I was going to salt base some film news.
Bit of well, it's TV news.
TV news.
So
News.
we're about a week away from Game of Thrones,
Yes.
and we have got episode titles and short synopsises for the first 3 episodes.
Oh
Leave
So-
shit.
First episode. Gather round, kids. Gather round. So the first episode is going of season 7. Season 7
Yeah.
is going to be
Yes.
called Dragonstone,
Oh, yeah.
and the synopsis is: Jon organises a defence of the North. Cersei tries to even the odds, and Daenerys comes home.
She's finally in Westeros.
The
Yay.
second one
Oh my god.
is called.
No, that's going to be the end of the episode. She comes home.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, her boat's
It's
just
gonna
gonna
be a
like
clip.
arrive. Yeah. Her boat will just arrive.
Just get out of the Uber, wouldn't she?
Uber pool, man. So yeah, the second one's gonna be called Stormborn, and it says Daenerys receives an unexpected visitor. Jon faces a revolt, and Tyrion plans the conquest of Westeros.
Ooh.
And then the third one, called the Queen's Justice, says Daenerys holds court, Cersei returns a gift, and Jaime learns from his mistakes.
Seems like this is going to be a very Daenerys heavy series.
About bloody time, man. It took her 5 years to get the fuck.
Do you reckon, who would you say is the main character of Game of Thrones? If you had to say this person, I know there's lots, but if there's one central main character,
I would say Jon Snow, just because
I'd
that's
say-
who everyone
I think
talks
I'd
about.
say Jon Snow
Yeah.
as well.
I'm debating between Tyrion and Daenerys.
I think Tyrion is one of the main characters by accident.
Do you think?
He's
Yeah,
just been like put
just
into
because-
so much shit.
Yeah, just because he was so he's like he's like everyone just like loves him. But I don't think there's any like, so if you say Jon Snow, if you say Daenerys, I think that's by design. So like obviously like the books I imagine are more like, you know.
Tyrion is in the books a hell of a lot.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough then. Maybe
So
I'm
like
completely
each chapter in the books is from one character's perspective,
Right.
and I think the people with the most are Jon, Daenerys, and Tyrion.
wrong. Okay.
Like Tyrion is everywhere.
Mm.
Like I feel like he's the instigator.
Yeah.
Like he's like not what's the thing? A central.
Focal point.
Yeah, like a conduit. Yeah, focal point for a lot of things. Like he's like the deep line playmaker, spraying the balls around, making shit happen.
I think that's Peter Baelish, mate. He's the
puppeteer.
yeah, he's the puppet master.
What
Did-
time's Peter Baelish?
Littlefinger.
Oh.
So is Tyrion more box to box midfielder?
I don't know. Tyrion's more like the assistant manager.
Okay.
I want to
So
ask.
that's Steve Bold. Now.
So you know, is it Cersei, the crazy one?
Yeah, left back.
So you're saying, I think a couple of weeks ago, that she hates Tyrion because something about a witch. She was
Prophecy,
told
yeah.
that your little brother's going to kill you,
Yeah.
and we all think it's Jaime.
Yeah.
Would you be annoyed if it wasn't Jaime and it was Tyrion? Like he
Kind
kills
of.
his dad, he's like bam with an
Oh,
arrow.
that's cool though. To be fair.
Yeah.
Like would you
Actually, you know
would
what?
you like it
Do you know what? I
if
wouldn't
Tyrion
mind.
actually got his like revenge? on
Yeah, I
his
wouldn't
big
mind
sister?
actually.
Yeah, I would like
wouldn't mind.
because I feel like he's the one who's been victimized more by.
Didn't
Cersei.
Cersei pretty much get him like chucked out of
Yeah,
thingy? So yeah.
yeah. And obviously like was keeping his, what's her name, Shay captive and stuff. It's
Yeah.
basically ruined his life.
Yeah.
Although he did he kill Joffrey? No, he didn't kill Joffrey.
No.
Who did kill Joffrey?
Didn't Littlefinger
I think it was Littlefinger. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I reckon if they're
DLP, mate.
if they're making Daenerys the focus of this series, I think there's almost certainty that she's going to die.
Really?
You
Or
don't.
or she's going to win it all.
No, I think
That
that's,
would
that's
be-
too obvious. It's too. They're setting up too much that it's going to be her. I think if they're making such a hype around her, that something's got to crash and burn.
I'm here for it. I'm here for her dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, for it.
I think she took so fucking long to get to Westeros.
Yeah, that's
Oh, my
probably
bloody
why
hell.
they're making such a big deal out of
You
it.
take,
because it's like,
imagine you take 5 seasons to get to Westeros, then
Then you die.
the first episode you're actually in Westeros, you die. I would crack
We're
up.
like the boat sinks, and you're like, nah, I see it, I see
That's
it.
something The Walking Dead would do, man.
Yeah.
That would waste your time.
Really.
But yeah, we'll give you like weekly. We all have to watch it before
Yeah.
the podcast.
We all will though. I can't imagine we won't.
Yeah, but they come out on.
It comes out Sunday. We'll watch it on
Sunday
Monday,
evening,
so
So we'll be a
well,
week,
technically be a
a
week
week
behind.
which is
Yeah.
probably good for our listeners because then that way we're not like Daenerys dies and they're like, I haven't fucking seen it yet.
Yeah.
You know,
She's not going to die, mate. You're totally wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I don't think she's going to die.
we will see, shall
She's
we
going to
not?
become the queen.
In 8 weeks, we will know everything.
Tyrion's going to be her advisor. Jon's going to be like the King's Guard or the Queen's Guard.
Okay, we will see.
Nah, there's going to
And
be
they-
no throne.
They're going to have each their own dragon, and they're going to fuck everything up.
Well-
Riding the dragons.
Yeah.
That's going to be the end scene. All three of them riding their dragons into the sunset.
Then that
Well, that
dragon
would be the lamest thing, wouldn't it?
that dragon transformer from Transformers 5 should come in and they
Yeah,
should fight, and
exactly.
then Optimus Prime is the King's Guard. Boom. Talking of wasting time, I went to see a film called It Comes at Night.
That looked good, I thought.
Mate,
What is this? What
I'm
film
gonna,
is this?
spoilers for this, but
It's
I'm
shit.
saving you time. So, It Comes at Night was marketed as a horror film, right? All the
Bear in mind that you're dead inside and nothing scares you.
I just want a good horror, right? So
I don't know what that is anymore. That's some.
the poster is the
Weird
classic
shit.
horror imagery, like black poster with like a silhouetted kind of image,
Yeah.
and then the fact that it comes at night kind of is one of those sort of supernatural kind of.
Yeah.
It kind of implies that, and then all the trailers are like the main guy's Joel Edgerton. He's holding lamps and walking through woods and like jumpy sort of
Yeah,
things.
proper horror type.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, cool, it's gonna be a horror film. Was it a horror film? No.
What was it? Was it a true
It
love
was-
story? Rom-com.
Do you know what it was?
That was great.
Just a waste of my motherfucking time. So it's about.
The language.
So Joel, you can't talk. He said the C word 3 times in one episode. So Joel Edgerton is he's got his wife and his kid, and they're in like a cabin. Their house is in a wooded area, and it starts off with their the wife's father. He's ill. He's got sores and stuff all over him,
Right.
and the other three are wearing gas masks. And then they take him out to the woods and kind of mercy kill him. So then there's like the kind of suggestion that everyone's like, oh, you're not sick, are you? You know, you didn't get infected. So there's a suggestion that some sort of plague or virus has ravaged the world.
So some type of apocalypse thing.
Yeah, people getting infected, but I assume it's not airborne because otherwise everyone would be sick. But
unless you're immune to it.
maybe. But so they have this. I'm going to explain the whole plot. So if you're going to see it, I'm sorry. But so they have this section of their house that they block off. So there's like a red door, and that leads into like a quarantined bit where they kept the grandfather.
Right.
So they're kind of they have to. There's no like electricity. They're living by like lamplight and very basic food ration. So it kind of does feel post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Then one day, someone breaks into their house. And then they kind of kidnap him, and they're like, "Are you sick? Like, don't infect us." And he's like, "I'm just trying to find some water for my family." So Joel Edgerton takes the prisoner, in a sense, and it's like, "Show me where you live, and if I don't believe that you've got a family, but if you do, then we'll help you." So they're driving through the woods, and then they kind of get ambushed by these other people.
Right.
Who they then kill. And I was like, oh, okay. So is there like double crossing sort of thing? And then whilst he's like, oh, so why are you out here? He's like, oh, well, we used to live in my brother's house, but he passed away, and so I had to move.
Right.
So then they bring the family back to their house, and then they kind of live. So there's a little boy, and then another, obviously, couple. And then they're getting along well, kind of montages of like chopping wood, and it all seems civilized.
Yeah.
But then the son of Joel Edgerton, he keeps having these weird dreams, like that people are bleeding from the mouth, or that he sees his grandfather again and he's bleeding and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. They're going to go somewhere with this, right?
Yeah.
Maybe something supernatural or whatever. No. So yeah, then there's all the paranoia about, oh, is your son sick? Is your wife sick? Blah 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 blah. And then they agree to separate themselves and live in different rooms. And then the main family overhear the other family saying, we need to leave, and their little son is crying and he's like, oh, it hurts, blah blah blah. So then they're like, shit, he's sick. So then there's this whole like, they're trying to get rid of the other family that they've kind of taken in. And then there's like, oh yeah, your son's sick, we need to kind of get rid of him. And then the father's like,
you say that so with so much pleasure and joy.
So the mother escapes with the kid, and then the father beats up Joel Edgerton. And then whilst he's doing that, he's about to kill him, and then Joel Edgerton's wife shoots the guy and kills him. And then Joel Edgerton shoots and kills the son, the little boy, because he thinks he's sick. But you don't know whether this boy's sick.
Yeah.
Because you never see his face. And then the wife's like, well, why don't you just kill me then? And then he does. And then, then their son gets sick. And then the film ends with the man and the wife kind of staring at one another, and it's obvious that they're sick. And I was just like, where's the horror? I thought
that sounds like a good film, though.
I didn't like it. There was no kind of payoff for what they've been setting up.
It sounds very basic.
Sometimes the basic things work.
But they were setting up these kind of ideas as like, some sort of plague. I thought, well, maybe they find out how it happens, or you get some understanding. And then there's like, the fact that there's sort of spooky things happen, like their dog gets bitten, and it's like, well, who's infecting these people? It seems like there's some sort of monster, but again, they don't follow that through.
Right.
Then the kids having nightmares, and then this kind of like, is this real? Is this not real? But they don't take that any further.
Right.
And it's just like all of these kind of good ideas that they start setting up, they just doesn't happen at all.
Did he get rushed out or something?
I don't think so. It was just one of those films, and it just ends.
Cliffhanger.
And I was just like,
do you like a well-rounded, like closed-off series or film? Because I want to say, so because you're talking about like apocalyptic, you want to have a deeper understanding of like, you know, if there's going to be a cure or some sort of ending, right? If you want that, don't watch Walking Dead. Stop now, because it's never going to fucking end, mate.
No. But I don't mind open endings, right?
Yeah.
With Game of Thrones and open ending.
It has to be the right
Which would be
type.
sad.
It does.
Open-ending.
There has to be answers to questions. You can pose more questions, but you have to answer some of the questions that you pose. And this film just poses loads of questions and doesn't answer any of them. And that's why I was disappointed.
Did you like Inception?
Yeah.
The way that ended?
Yeah. Because that's at least there's debate there. But this was just like...
It just ended.
It was just kind of one of those films where at the start they were one place and at the end the progression is very minimal.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, what was the trajectory? I don't know. I was just really disappointed. I think mostly my disappointment came from the fact that I thought it was going to be like a straight up kind of supernatural horror film. And it wasn't. It was like a, don't know, drama, horror.
So what would you rate it? What's your rating?
4.5, 5.
Ooh, 4.5.
So bang average. Just
Yeah.
below.
I was looking forward to it as well. And that's, again, one thing that obviously clouds my opinion.
You was looking
Because I
forward
went
to
in
the film.
Spider-Man no expectations, and I was like, didn't succeed or, you know, lower them. But this one I didn't have high expectations, but I had certain expectations of the genre. And
You expected a couple jump scares somewhere.
yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just one of those things. It's like, what's the point
A bit meh.
of it?
Well, you on your Facebook, you put a trailer out for another horror movie that's coming out in October. So do you want to talk about that? Have we talked about that yet?
I don't think we have. I can't remember the exact title, but I think it's called Happy Death Day or something like that.
Alright.
So it's basically like Groundhog Day. So this woman...
Or like a Tom Cruise film with a Live Die Repeat.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So this woman wakes up and I think it's her birthday, and so she goes about all her activities, and then she ends up being killed by this guy in a bunny mask.
Baby face, isn't it?
Yeah, some weird sort of... I thought...
Right. Okay.
I've obviously seen some weird bunnies, but yeah. So she gets killed, and then she wakes up on the same day,
Right, okay.
and then obviously same things happen,
Yeah.
and then obviously she slowly starts to realise that this is the same day,
Yeah.
and then she has to try and find the guy who kills her.
Right.
I'm
she has to-
assuming that like because she's sitting in a like part of the trailer, she's sitting in a coffee shop explaining the situation to her mate, and he's like, I don't know, you've got to find out who kills you.
probably
So
him.
maybe she's like, oh, find out who kills me, and then I can get rid of this nightmare and live my life, right?
Yeah. It's probably going to be him, though, isn't it? It's classic, like, Scooby-Doo sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, so, if you take the face off and it's the policeman, oh, okay.
It does
Arr,
sound,
you meddling
Meddling
kids. Arr.
kids.
it does sound a lot like that Tom Cruise film.
But no, it looks interesting. I also wanted to see that film Berlin Syndrome, but I didn't get around to it. That's like the kidnap drama. Anything else coming up or out or that you've seen? Looking forward to?
There's a lot of films coming out, isn't there?
Well, next
There's
week
a
is
lot of
War of the
films
Planet of the
coming.
Apes.
So annoyed that the Home, was it, with Will Ferrell, Amy
House.
Poehler? The House. So annoyed that was only in cinemas like 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's telling. We're saying that the Tupac film it's not in Beckenham anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was only in there for like a week, so I think it's probably more down to demographic though, rather than
Yeah, because I think it's still on at View.
What are you saying?
that not many people in Beckenham will want to watch.
Wow.
All Eyes on Me.
We watched it. I came back and downloaded Tupac.
Have you seen Notorious?
I've got
yet?
him. I've got his hologram upstairs. Huh?
Have you seen Notorious yet?
No, it's on the list, mate.
I think you'll like it better than.
Yeah.
All Eyes on
You've got to stop watching Lord of the Rings 10 times.
Can't do it. Hungover in it.
You can watch
Just a
Notorious.
film to
haven't you?
put on.
Yeah, man.
And then you're going to watch Unbreakable. You got to watch that for next time so we can talk about how bad it is.
Okay, cool. Excellent.
Oh, sorry, go on, John.
No, I was
just
Oh,
gonna say.
fair enough. There's a TV show coming out. I was talking to you about called Snowfall.
Yeah.
I don't know if John Singleton wrote it or producing it or something. I think he's involved in it in some way. And it's basically about. I don't know if have we spoken about this before.
No, because you posted it on our chat, didn't you? You
Yeah.
said check this out. I don't think we've
Okay.
talked about it.
Okay, cool. I didn't want to repeat myself, but it's about the crack epidemic in I think South Central Los Angeles in the 1980s. And the trailer for it looked pretty cool. It didn't really give away much, so I'm probably going to check that out, at least the first episode, just to see. 'Cause I think it came out just this week, just gone by, so I'm going to try and check that out. because it looked decent.
Nice.
That's the only thing.
I tell you what, you've got. I want to watch is that something Days of Summer.
500 Days of Summer.
No, not that. The comedy with Paul Rudd and Bradley Cooper.
Oh, Wet Hot American Summer.
Hot Wet American Summer.
Oh, I saw the TV show of that.
It's so funny.
I watched it was one of them days where I
Glenn said it's like my sort of funny,
It's-
which I think would be your kind of funny.
No,
Is that the one on Netflix?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
one of those like I'm pretty sure the batteries in my Xbox controller ran out, so the
It just carried on.
thing was just playing, and I think I watched like 4 episodes, and I was like, why am I watching? I was just like, why am I watching this? Like, I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like it at all. But
This is the guy coming from a pretty prolific EastEnders fan, or Emmerdale.
yeah, but they're two completely different things. And I haven't watched EastEnders in years. But they're two completely different.
What didn't you like about it from what you
I
can
don't
remember?
know. I was just like, this is so like cringy. I was like, oh god. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's because they were all. Because I think the TV show, the first series, is like set at the same period as the film, right?
It's set before the film.
Before the film, so like they're all like 30, 40 plus trying to
Yeah.
play like really young
That's
characters.
the-
And I
that's
was like,
what's
oh,
funny.
this is.
That is
I
what's
was
funny
like,
about it.
oh man, this is awful. Oh god, it made me sick.
Have you seen the film?
No.
Well, have you seen it then? No. I like it. I just think it's silly. It's funny.
Oh.
There are some.
I like Paul Rudd's character. That's literally it.
There are some really quotable, funny lines in it. I'm not going to
Oh, man.
say them because they won't be as funny when you hear them in the actual show. But yeah, I reckon you should check it out. Like at least start watching the series.
Has anyone got any good Netflix original series that I can watch? 'Cause I feel like
Narcos.
there's not many.
Narcos.
I need to finish watching Narcos.
I didn't get into that.
I watched a few episodes and I was into it, but I just stopped watching it. I just completely forgot about it and stopped watching it. But I need a new I need some like House of Cards or Orange New Black.
Have you seen Man in High Castle?
That's
no,
Amazon.
but that's
Is it Amazon?
It's Amazon, but that's on my list of stuff to watch.
Is that the
'cause-
one where basically the Nazis have
Yeah.
taken over?
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah,
the premise sounds really interesting, so I do want to watch that. But
Hmm.
because I haven't got Amazon Prime, man.
You can use mine if you want.
Oi. Hold me tight,
Nice.
John.
I don't know. Like Chris watches Sense8 and Shadowhunters and stuff.
Oh, shut up.
That's-
That's awful.
That's all. Is that anime stuff?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Or I
Joe, do you
like,
want to talk about? Sorry.
I was going to say I like Arrested Development. That's on Netflix. It's not a Netflix original, but that's on Netflix. That's funny. That's like 20-minute episodes.
What?
Easy.
What is that about? I've seen.
It's got Jason Bateman in and Michael Cera and Will Arnett. So they're like the Bluth family, and
Yeah.
their father, who's like a wealthy businessman, gets like sent to jail, and then Jason Bateman becomes the head of the family.
Yeah.
He's so funny, like it's just silly, and like his niece is called Maybe, and everyone's like, "Oh,
No, it should be mistake.
oh, maybe do you want to come out?" And she said, maybe. It's just like again
It's
silly.
just silly
It's
comedy.
silly. What were you gonna?
I was gonna say, Joe, do you want to talk about Attack on Titan? Because I know you've been watching that.
I could talk about it, but are you like interested about hearing it?
No, but people listening.
The
might wanna
listeners
hear
will.
about it.
Okay, so
All 11 of them.
I mean I can do, yeah.
But you don't have to go into. too much
I've
depth.
watched, I think the whole of season 2, unless more episodes are coming out. I don't know. But basically, for you, like you haven't seen it, have you?
I'm intrigued, mate. Please
So-
sell it to me.
Attack on Titan is basically about the human race. I don't know when it's set, but in a different world, and they're basically penned in by 3 walls, circular walls, and they've been inside the walls for 1,000 years, living peacefully.
Always 1,000 years, man.
Living peacefully.
Nice round number.
Getting on with their lives day to day, and then one day, a Titan, which is basically the antagonist of the film of the series, big 50-meter Titan, huge thing, kicks a massive hole in the wall, yeah,
And then we get sucked out into space.
and then a load of Titans basically come in and start eating all the humans. Now Titans,
They look
Ba-
fucking weird.
they look very weird.
Are they naked as well?
They're naked,
Yeah.
but
Is
they
this
have
an anime?
but they have no genitalia. So
Okay.
they're all over the place. And Titans, you can get 3 meter, 5 meter, 7, 10, 12, 15, 20, 25, and then the big 50 one.
Okay.
They start invading the the walls start eating people. Then everyone basically... So, there's 3 walls, the outer wall, the inner wall, and then the centre wall. They break into, obviously, the outer wall. Everyone from the outer wall then moves into the centre wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is after the Titans have eaten like 75% of the
There's something
population.
about people getting eaten by big monsters. It's just funny.
It's really weird.
Sounds like Maze Runner.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
It is a little bit actually.
Kind of.
Okay.
So basically, you're following the main character called Aaron, and he lives in the outer wall. Sees his mum get eaten by a Titan, and then basically joins up with the military, the people who fight the Titans. You follow his story going through all the training and all of that, and he's got a deep-seated hatred for the Titans because obviously they ate his mum.
Yeah. Understandable, I think.
Yeah, he joins up with a battalion or a part of the military called the Scouts, and they're basically the people that go outside the wall and try and basically find new places for the human race to live, because obviously they can't stay in the confines of the walls because population size is growing and all that. And they basically, I'm talking about the first season. This is all the first season. He basically then joins up with the Scouts, goes to the basically the centre wall, but the outside of it to try and fight back the Titans, with all the people that go through all the training, all the military. Obviously, they start losing because they're going up against the Titans with swords. And to kill a Titan, you have to cut the nape of the neck.
Okay.
But obviously, they all die, basically.
Oh.
All the people die. Aaron gets eaten by a Titan, trying to save his friend. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he gets eaten by a Titan, wakes up in the belly of the Titan, sees a load of other soldiers that have been eaten by that particular Titan, goes a little bit crazy, and then he transforms into a Titan. And
Why?
Is that the plot twist?
That's the plot twist. Yeah.
What?
Why
So-
transform into a Titan?
You don't know. He just transforms into a Titan
Interesting.
and then fights off all the other Titans.
Wait, 1 second.
What?
No, wait, no, because if Titans don't have genitalia, then how did you get more Titans?
So it's explained more in the second season.
Wait, so when
Birds
Aaron's
and the
eaten
Bees.
Yeah,
and he turns into Titan in
Yeah.
this guy's stomach,
yeah.
does he then cut his way out or something?
He sort
or
of
does he get
he
shat
sort
out?
of bursts his way out of this Titan.
Okay.
Well, because he gets bigger.
Yeah, because he gets bigger. He turns into a
Shit
15
him
metre
out, innit?
Titan, and then he bursts out. But the Titans are explained more in the second season. It's really weird though, but by what I've seen, everyone is able to turn into a Titan, but something happened with the government, and basically they sort
Always
of find
the
out.
government.
They find out who's close, in inverted commas, to turning into a Titan, and they take them out of the wall.
Right.
So that's why you've got like a massive army, like thousands upon thousands of Titans outside the wall. But yeah, it's kind of confusing as to where they've come from, because you see people that have turned into Titans, like Aaron.
So is he now eating people?
No, he's not eating people. He's basically conscious of what he's doing and where he is and who
Okay.
he's with. But it seems like most of the other Titans are not.
Okay.
So they're just mindlessly eating people for some reason. I don't know why. But he's fighting against them with his friends. And the 50-metre Titan, who breaks through the wall, is part of the military who Aaron basically goes through all the training with. There's an armoured Titan, which Aaron goes through the training with. There's a female Titan, which Aaron goes through the training with, and there's also just been revealed another Titan, a little like demon Titan, that he went through the training with. So there's a load of people that are Titans that nobody knows are Titans, and
That sounds mega confusing.
How
is there a female Titan if they've got no genitalia? Does that mean
because
they are still gendered?
There's humans.
That's Titan's son.
There's humans, so
Yeah, but surely they'd be
Oh,
gender
okay, right. So they're just gender fluid.
Yeah, I mean, she's got tits, but it's just there's
It's like
nothing
Action
there.
Man.
Like a Barbie doll.
Yeah, like a Barbie doll. Same
Fair
with
enough.
But it's really weird.
I've seen like
I mean-
30 seconds of it and it looks fucking weird.
I thought it was going to be a DC thing. I thought you
No.
would start talking about like young Robin and stuff.
No.
looks
Is it?
fucking weird.
It's a really weird and quite hard anime to explain because it's all over the place and nothing's really explained.
When Chris is back, you two can talk about it
Exactly,
in more
but
depth.
it's actually a really good anime. Like,
Okay.
The story behind it, the music.
This hasn't got like thousands of episodes, does it?
No.
Like some of the other things.
There is, in total, I think, 30 episodes. That's over 2 seasons.
Watchable.
Okay.
So I would recommend it. I really enjoy it, and it's quite deep.
Okay.
Just be prepared for nothing to be explained.
Is this anime like, as in it's drawn, or it's all
Yeah.
like computer graphics?
No,
Is it, because
well, it looks drawn, but there is computer animated stuff in there as well.
okay, cool.
But it's mainly drawn.
Nice.
But it is very good. I would recommend
Just
it.
drawing this
Highly.
like monster, like okay, now he's
Fair
gonna
enough.
eat this guy.
Okay, I was talking of monsters. I saw a film called Train to Busan, which is a
Zombie film.
Korean zombie.
Yes, mate.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
What did you think of it?
I
I'm not
loved
expecting
it.
someone here
It's
to see it.
Jokes. Yeah, man.
What did you like about it?
I liked. There's just a couple of plot twists. So obviously the ending. Didn't
Yeah.
think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a bit. Oh, it's just like the stupidity of humans when people are freaking out, and it's like they like have no trust for one another, even though they're going to have to. Because
Yeah.
trust is the most important.
So, explain the film.
So, Train to Busan is a Korean zombie film.
I'm
It's
guessing South Korean.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, South Korean. Yeah, not North Korean. Yeah, so it's about this father who's like a financial trader, and he's got a daughter, and he's estranged from his wife.
Right.
It's his daughter's birthday, and he says, "What do you want for your birthday?" She says, "I want to go to Busan to see Mum, because he has custody of her."
Right.
And he's one of these like typical kind of absentee, not really, doesn't understand her sort of
Right. Okay.
fathers.
Right.
And so he's like, "No, I haven't got time to take you on the train." She's like, "I'll go by myself." He's like, "You're not going by yourself." Whilst this is happening, there's this farmer who is stopped at like a barricade by the army, and he's like, "Why won't you let me through?" And they say, "Oh, there's been a leak at one of the power plants."
Right.
So you're like, okay, this is where you can see where this is going.
Yeah.
And then he runs over a deer by accident, and then the deer kind of, even though it's all broken and stuff, it kind of reanimates. And then, so the father and the daughter get on the train to Busan, which I think is only supposed to be like an hour away. And then obviously there's like loads of other characters in all the carriages that you kind of meet. There's like a baseball team, and then there's like 2 elderly women,
Right.
and then there's another kind of businessman who's really ruthless, and he's just like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So anyway, so then right before the door shuts and the train disappears, this woman who's been bitten like falls into the train, and then turns and starts eating people, and then slowly like, loads more people get infected whilst the train's moving.
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically it's about the people trying to get from one end of the train to another to meet up with like the rest of the survivors.
Right.
The father gets separated from his daughter. There's also a pregnant lady and her husband there. And yeah, so they fight their way through some of the zombies. You kind of find out that a lot of the towns are quarantined,
Right.
so the train can't stop there, otherwise they'll kind of be taken off somewhere by the military.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, I don't know if you want me to spoil the ending for you.
Yeah, go for it. Why not?
But yeah, so lots of the people you care about end up like sacrificing themselves, dying. The businessman is really ruthless, so he's like actually pushes people into the zombies to
really?
save himself,
Oh wow.
and he like separates one of the carriages and not lets people in. He's like, "You're infected. You're infected."
Right. But so, is there people infected in every carriage of the train?
No, not every
Oh,
carriage.
okay.
So like it kind of goes through the carriages,
Right, yeah.
but they're trying to like section it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the end they get to this like junction where all the trains have been like blown up or they've crashed, so they have to get off the train onto another train. And
Right.
there's only a few of them left by this point.
Right.
There's the train driver, the businessman, the pregnant lady, and his daughter.
Right.
And then the businessman had been bitten but hadn't told anyone, and so then he turns, kills the train driver, and then bites the father.
Right.
And then the father's like, obviously he knows he's going to like turn,
Yeah.
and then he ends up jumping off the train and like killing himself.
Right. Okay.
It was filmed in shadows, so it was quite visually, striking.
Right.
You just see if a shadow standing on the edge of a train, it just leans forward and
Oh,
falls
really?
off.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then, so then the daughter and the pregnant lady are left, and then they're walking through a tunnel. And one thing that is established throughout the film is that the zombies, they're blind, so when it goes dark, they can't see anything, so they just stand still.
Right.
And so
And they're like
there's
Very-
they
I am
move
legendary.
by like hearing and motion.
yeah, but not smell. Doesn't seem to be to do with smell.
Okay.
But anyway, so the daughter and the pregnant lady are walking through the tunnel because it's all been sectioned off, and then the army are on the other side, and they're like about to shoot them, and they're like two infected people walking through, and then the little girl starts singing like, "Oh my god, they're survivors," and then it ends. So I thought it was all right. Like
Yeah.
the budget obviously wasn't particularly high because the
Because it's set on a train.
no, not that, but it's just like I guess compared to like Hollywood zombie movies, like they're generally bigger. The zombies look more
Yeah. Well, there's more
kind of
money pumped in.
yeah. These just kind of like people with contact lenses in and a bit of paint
Right.
on their face, and obviously like they don't really. It's not as gory as like proper zombie films. So like you just tend to see someone being bitten. There's not like
Blood
intestines
spurting out,
being.
yeah.
There's not like intestines flying everywhere, which is like, a bit disappointing. But it was alright actually. It got
I
like,
loved
so
it.
many rave reviews. Like
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, it's the best horror film, the best zombie film since 28 Days Later." But
Okay.
it got really hyped up. But I guess I think that's because it's one of those foreign films that doesn't. Foreign films don't tend to
Yeah.
get released over here much.
Exposure, yeah.
So obviously when they do, everyone hypes it up. But yeah, it was good. It was alright. I kind of thought that the zombies. I just kind of. It's interesting how each zombie film, what the criteria the zombies do. Like some of them walk
Yeah.
slowly, some
Yeah.
of them, can see.
Yeah, there's
but,
no standard.
but these ones are like
zombie.
pegging it. They're like proper. They're like marathon sprinters, and they've got like gammy legs. And it's just like this is crazy. Yeah, it was decent. It's good to see.
Worth a watch.
Yeah, it's not by far, doesn't compare to like
Right,
28 Days
right,
Later.
right.
Even things like, you could tell the budget was low,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it wasn't a bad film because of that. So yeah.
I thought it was really good. Like the fact of being confined on a train that there's zombies. You're like, oh
Yeah.
my god, you can't do anything because
There's
they
that
can't
imminent
stop the
danger,
train.
Yeah.
It was there's a tension in that, and also a lot of the characters that you assume will survive, like don't. So it's one of those things that you don't really know who's gonna.
It's unexpected.
Yeah, to an extent.
One thing that I always remember is the right at the beginning when the people are starting to turn into zombies and they're like running to the other end of the train and they're like trying to close off the doors. I never would have thought about this, but this woman gets a bottle of water, throws it on the window for the door because the doors are all glass, and she gets newspaper and just puts it up so it's it's like a sheet so
Yeah.
they can't see in. And I never would have thought about that. I was
No.
like, oh my god, she's just
genius.
yeah, man. Just like, yeah, they can see us. We're gonna die. That would be my face of fact, huh?
The woman died though.
No,
They all
she was the
died.
pregnant lady.
Oh.
But
I
yeah.
enjoyed it, mate. That was a sick film. So I was a little bit worried, like, after going on trains for like 2 weeks after that film. I was like, all right, where's the nearest exit?
It's one of those things, like the zombie genre is one of those things. It's really tough to do something original, I think. But there was a little bit of originality there. Yeah, not too bad.
Zombies on a train. Snakes
Exactly.
on a plane.
Zombies on a plane. That would be interesting.
Well,
Snakes on a train.
they've already done that. That was
Oh.
World War Z.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Forgot about that.
I like that film.
You need
There's
to
a,
do
the
Snakes
second
on a
one
Train.
apparently.
I thought they
World War ZZ.
I thought they like cancelled it ages ago.
Oh, it's one of those development hell things, I think.
Yeah.
When did that come out? Like 2014. I
Yeah.
thought they would have brought out another one by now.
I think
Well,
David Fincher's.
Isn't
touched
it based on a book? What
Yeah, I
was it?
think so.
And there's 3 books.
Oh, there.
I think so.
World War Z.
ZZZ.
Like tie like.
You're thinking about World War Z, isn't it? Rather than
Yeah, World War Z.
I still don't get why they can't say zombies.
Yeah, none of
You
them.
must be able to say, oh yeah, zombie.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the whole point of it, that they weren't supposed to say it.
Like it's a different universe. Like zombies have never been
Mm.
thought of.
Yeah, it's the thing.
But
No,
that's- I'd
no
like
one's like,
to
fuck,
think-
they're turning into zombies. It's like, what is going on? Like, why are they eating people? It's like, they're a zombie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if someone grew 2 fangs and like bit someone, it's like, ooh, what is that? Vampire, mate.
Okay. That should be
It's got to
good.
be
Like,
matter of fact.
like in a zombie film, there should be like they should have a zombie film on in the background, and they're like, so obviously they know what's
Yeah.
going on. They're just really dumb,
Exactly.
Actually,
or like you and just haven't seen anything. Like good.
Oh, hey. That's some good films. Yeah.
Classics.
Anyone got anything else to mention? Or we can...
No, we were talking about foreign films the other day, yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
How like
Der Untergang. The Downfall.
yeah,
That's a
need
German film.
some really. Have you guys seen any foreign films?
No.
I've seen a couple
Many-
of Hollywood films.
Nollywood.
Yeah.
I think it's
Any good?
Bollywood.
Huh?
Any good?
No.
No.
To be fair, what was thinking? It's a matter of taste. Like if you ask my mum and dad, they love it. But you know, for me, the production value is so low. It literally hurts. It hurts me to watch it. I was watching one the other day with my mum, and there was a guy. There was a guy. I think it's like his dad died or something like that, and then his dad came back to haunt him as a ghost, and it was just the same geezer, and he just had like loads of like baby powder. And
Was he wearing a white sheet?
Oh, he was wearing a white shirt and he had baby powder in his face. And I was looking at my mum, I was like, I can't believe you enjoy this. And she was just like, oh.
Maybe it's a guilty pleasure.
Maybe, I don't know, but there's a thing like,
Okay,
obviously-
but good production foreign films.
I'm confident.
You've seen any?
I watched a few at uni for one of my course modules, but I can't even remember them, to be honest.
You got things like City of God.
Yeah, is that the one set in Brazil?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Then you got Lane, which is a French film.
I'm trying to think.
Anyone seen like The Orphanage?
No.
Spanish horror film.
No. If
you-
any of you listeners have
Well-
any recommendations, let us know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so we've got listeners from 28 different countries. So you know, if you're listening in
Send
Cyprus
us your
or
films.
Malaysia or Pakistan or Germany or Mauritius or wherever you're listening, send us recommendations of films from your culture, and we'd love to see them. I saw a Greek film once called Dogtooth. That was really surreal. That was proper weird.
What, in a good way or bad way?
I'm not sure. I think it was. I would say it was in a bad way. It was kind of tough to watch.
If you're not sure, it's probably
It was
bad.
it was a film about like this family, but they're so paranoid about their kids being influenced by outsiders that they like homeschool them and stuff, and they tell their kids that items are called something different to what they are. So, for example, your phone, they would call that fork. They would like, pass me the fork or whatever.
Mindfuck.
And they have, for some reason, they've told them that cats are like really evil. So then like a cat comes into the garden. The boy and the girl, they're probably like, you know, our age or so. They're like, oh my god, there's a cat, and they like kill it. But it's also weird because they like sleep with one another and stuff. And I was just like, what's going on? I can't even remember how it ends. It's just like, okay. It was one of those films that's on Channel 4 at like 1 a.m. in the morning.
Isn't that Babe Station?
I don't know what that is, Ollie. So yeah, I mean, There are lots of like really good foreign films though. Like the original Grudge film's really good, the Japanese one. And then there's lots of French films I've seen.
I literally can't think of any right now.
No.
Well, yeah, listeners, send us in your your recommendations for foreign films. YAC Podcast 17 on Twitter, Your Average Critics on Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, and SoundCloud. So yeah, do give us a shout out what we should review for the next time, and we'll let you know our thoughts.
Yeah.
So thanks very much for listening, and tune in next week when we'll talk about War of the Dawn of the Rise of the Planet of the Apes 3.